I don't know. I just feel like I'm a bit burnt out right now. I've been making videos for over 2 years and I just have nothing left to talk about.
I hear you, my man, but have you tried making NFTs of your videos and selling the rights? You could call it Dobbins Pals.
Gary, I just want to grow my YouTube channel.
Of course, and you gotta make content. You should be making at least 50 pieces of content every single day for the rest of your life until you're in a wheelchair. In fact, you should be making content while in a wheelchair. I mean, how old are you?
I'm 20.
I mean, dude, when I was your age, I was literally eating crap on my dad's liquor store for the next decade. I mean, you had so much time. You just need to document what you're doing.
Document what I'm doing? I mean, do people really care?
Exactly, my man. You just need to document what you're doing, and people eat that stuff up. Peace.
So over the past week, I've scaled 3 new brands from $0 to $1,000 a day, like with this brand right here that did $1,700 yesterday, $600 today. I mean, we are literally printing money out here at BOD Miami. And the reason why is because I own an ad agency and we literally test hundreds of products every single month. And if we don't meet quota, then I make sure every media buyer goes homeless and starves to death. I mean, we motivate them and try to bring the best out of them through strategic team meetings. And if you are interested in the service, you can always book a call in the link in the description. But although we are getting some great results and getting a ton of momentum with these products, I've started to realize dropshipping is definitely harder than ever before.
Because back in my day, you could throw up any hastily built Shopify store like this one right here with a horrible product and a horrible offer, and people would literally throw millions at you. I mean, look at Eddie Bia has a video back in the day. And yes, I do want that smoke. Content creator battles too.
But nowadays, the bar has risen. You need to be a killer that has sky-high standards for everything in your funnel, from products, website, or ads, because let's face it, all the greedy get-rich-quick kids have moved on to crypto, lost their shirts, and the only people really doing dropshipping today, because it's not as hot as it was before, is the people that were really passionate about it. It's like a nuclear apocalypse happened and only the strongest survived, aka the cockroaches. And that means if you are brand new to this space, you are competing with some of the baddest mofos in the game for any product you want to sell. And these people already have sky-high standards and are constantly looking for new edges over you. So if you want to compete with them, you need to be watching videos like this and constantly being informed as to what is going on and is in the meta right now. Because what was working 6 months ago is no longer working today. So right now, when it comes to product selection, I would say the meta has remained the same throughout the years. It's been very consistent where you want to look for products with good margin. I'm talking $20, $30 margin. You can at least sell it for 2.5x what it's costing you from the supplier. Next thing, obviously, the wow factor. Your product has to be something that is unique, that catches people's attention immediately. If your product can catch people's attention without you having to do anything too fancy, that's a really good sign that you have a winner on your hands. Now, I would also say if it is a problem-solving item, that is definitely a plus. And nowadays, definitely look for more general products. I'm seeing general products like slippers, like those posture correctors. They're for a wide, huge audience of millions and millions and millions of people, doing way better than any types of niche products out there. There's like camping is even too niche down for me if you were to sell on TikTok. Now, this also goes into the whole discussion as to which ad platform do you want to master, because if you are someone who has not gotten great results, you need to master either Facebook or TikTok. I believe those are the two main platforms you should really put your time into, and you shouldn't be putting 50% into one thing and 50% into the other thing, because at the end of the day, you're just going to half-ass it and you're not really going to get good at either. Now, when it comes to product research tools, I would say the meta has also stayed relatively the same. The 3 best tools: PP ads, AdSpy, and good old-fashioned TikTok. So what I would do on PP ads, if you can afford it, I know it's a little bit expensive for you broke boys out there, but the e-commerce setting is still goated. It's great. I'm also a big fan of the dropship setting, and personally what I like to do, United States, action button shop now, and I will admit we play around with this all the time. It always will change. Ecom platform, Shopify. Now for ads, usually my criteria is at least 100,000 impressions. Likes, I want this to at least be around 1,000. And when I'm looking at ads, I typically want there to be a good like to share ratio, because likes can be manipulated. I mean, if you advertise for a while, you're just naturally going to get likes, but shares are something you cannot force. So I personally look for ads where the like to share ratio is 1 share for every 30 likes. So if we go down here, we got some phone cases, we got a bunch of different stuff going on. Let's see this pancake. Oh wait, throw away your shaker. Sorry, I thought that was a pan. I think I'm just going blind nowadays. I'm just so adrenaline rushed from all the e-commerce sauce. But now, okay, we can see it's a really cool product showing good clips. It's really, really wow factory, because you get to see this tornado effect. It's super cool. Now looking at the like to share ratio, perfect. It's basically exactly at 1 to 30. So I would say this is something I would definitely look into selling. In fact, this actually is a product that I am interested in selling. So great benefits as well. So yeah, this is a great way of finding some products ASAP. And there's literally hundreds of pages that you can go through. You can always customize with the different filters, popularity days, all this stuff. I would definitely make sure the last seen is within 15 days because one of the most important things is timing. If a product did super well in March, I would not recommend selling it right now in June because usually those products get saturated very fast over the next 3 to 6 months. The dropshipping product lifestyle is not a long one. It's usually going to be around 6 months. So if you find a product 6 months or 9 months after it really popped off, try to sell it now and you're just essentially trying to burn money. So I ideally look for stuff that's blowing up over the last couple of weeks. Now, the next tool I like to use is AdSpy. Now, for AdSpy, I would say the settings are very, very similar. So you want to do something like 1,000 likes. You want to do daily likes can be at least, I would say 20 so that it is an active ad. Seen between, actually created between is a better metric. So we would do the last couple of weeks. Buttons, shop now, platforms can be Shopify, countries, United States, language, English. Hopefully I'm not going too fast for you, but if you can't keep up, you can't keep up with the competition. So you gotta be at this speed. You gotta be laser fast with everything. All right, so after doing all those settings, we can scroll on down. We're getting a lot of clothing brands, and I will admit clothing brands is probably the easiest way to see success with dropshipping nowadays. But if we scroll down, ooh, we got a waist trainer. Okay. Absolutely love these types of products. This is great for Facebook, and this is a tool for finding Facebook ads, so it makes sense. So let's actually mute this. I would love to see what this ad is doing. Okay, look at my new hourglass figure, good UGC content. Oh, she's twerk. And I've talked about this with a lot of other agency owners. And if you do have sex appeal in your ads, it definitely does improve the click-through rate and the conversion rate. So you might want to consider throwing in a little bit of twerking action or a little bit of skin if you can. Personally, it's not a must. I'm just saying if you want that edge, that is something we definitely did notice. And then another way that you can find products is going onto TikTok and looking up common hashtags like Amazon finds, what I bought versus what I got. TikTok made me buy it. Summer finds is probably the best one that we're finding some good products right now. And you're gonna have to scroll down the list. I would not look at products that have the most engagement because that's what everyone is doing. You need to be going in the trenches. And in the trenches are those new ads, those new videos that have just been made using this hashtag. I'm talking June 16, the day I'm filming this. So that's how you're gonna get the edge. You wanna look for these hashtags. And usually when you look at these videos, they have a bunch of different hashtags. Amazon finds 2022. So you can see all of this. It starts this snowball effect. Summer must-haves, I would have never even thought about using that. And you see all of these products right here. So if you can find a product at the right time that's popping off right now in the right season, you can make some good money. And if you want to compete with the big boys, you're going to need to train your own product research team to do all this work that I just told you for you. So it's really not that hard to train someone. Again, this is one of the lists from one of my product researchers. We have 3 at our agency that are fully trained. We have SOP videos, and typically you need to trial a large amount of people, 10, 20 people for about a week to see what kind of products they bring back to you. And if these product researchers take your instructions and are giving you good lists of products, hire them full time. You can hire people for $7 an hour. They work 40 hours a week, so it's $280 a week, and they'll find you tons of products that you could potentially sell. And really, if you want to scale it with dropshipping, you need to be focusing on the most ROI positive activities, and product research is frankly not one of them. So if you're wondering where to find product researchers, I always use Upwork for everything. Upwork is so great for finding people in the Philippines. You can use onlinejobs.ph as well. And you do need to trial a bunch of people, but once you find the right fit, it saves you so much time. Now, I would say the next important thing after you get your product research all handled is you need to understand what is the meta with ad platforms or meta. So I would say with the actual platform of Meta, what's working right now is typically doing more broad audiences. So I would say when we go into this creating conversions, and again, it's up to you if you want to use Facebook ads, TikTok ads. I believe they both work. And really with Facebook, I would say it's easier to scale because TikTok's platform is still kind of a mess when it comes to optimization. So obviously you get your website, you get your pixel, everything like this. You're making sure you're doing conversions. Budgets, I would say you should do $10 a day and let that run for 2 days with each one of your ad groups. So it's up to you how many ad groups you want. Now, when it comes to start date, I'm always doing midnight for everything here. So we do midnight for the next date. So June 17th. AM. Scroll on down, so we got United States, 1865. I would say United States on both platforms is still the main place you want to advertise. I would not waste your money on everywhere else. With ages and gender, I would still keep it broad. I believe that is what's working the best, but I would always do an interest in every single audience that you're testing. So If you're doing a beauty product, then obviously we can do beauty. We can see what comes up. Beauty, Ulta Beauty. Yes, these are tons of great references. And really, when you're doing this, I would recommend 5 ad groups, $10 a day, let it run for 2 days, see what happens. So $100 a day spent is not a lot. So cosmetics can be another one for another ad group. Skincare, super duper easy. Now, scrolling down to the rest, personally, I like to do feeds when I'm doing this kind of stuff. This is what's working the best for us. So we'll do stories and reels off, all this other stuff off. So just do the main Facebook, Instagram feed. And personally, I like to do about 3 ads for each ad group. I've noticed when we do more than that, it can be sort of hard for Facebook to optimize. So that's sort of the ideal range. And then for TikTok, I would say the main testing strategy we've been using is broad everything. And with Facebook, it's great for niche audiences. And whenever we take on an e-commerce brand that is specific for a niche, we always are just recommending Facebook ads first, because it's so easy to pinpoint your exact target audience with those interests. But with TikTok, interests are kind of broken. I would say they haven't really been working super well. I mean, they can work for you. Just over a large split test, we have noticed it has not worked the best. Now, if you are wondering how to do split tests with your strategy to come up with what is working the best for you, we do have different documents at our agency, like strategy development. So this is a template that we personally use. And this is how you should be developing your strategy if you want to be an absolute beast when it comes to media buying. So we have a control group. This is our basic strategy that we always will implement. And then usually we like to run a split test. Now, all these numbers I just put in here for the sake of having something to look at. And let's say we do 5 ad groups, 3 with interest, 2 no targeting. And the split test on this one is, instead of US and Canada, we did US with Australia. And then, on this one for the targeting, Australia only. Or this one, CBO on instead of off. ACO on for this one. So this is how you can track all of your split tests. And if you do this and you put all the data in here, you can notice the trends and see what is working the best for you, because not every testing strategy is going to work best for you. So you have to be doing the split testing. Now, I would say, again, going back to this, what's working the best for us is always going to be doing 5 ad groups, broad, so no interest. We're only doing United States targeting, and we like to do 5 ads for each product we're testing. And usually each ad group only has 1 ad inside, so that we can put $20 to spend into each ad creative and see which performs the best. So if you're wondering about CBO and ACO, then you should worry no longer, because I wouldn't really recommend that for actually testing, because again, it splits your budget around and not everything gets an equal amount of spend. So you can't see which pockets, which audiences, which ads are performing the best, because they're not getting the love and tenderness that they deserve. So when we scroll down everything else, I will admit, when it comes to gender, I will sometimes we'll specify it if it is like really a female product. We're talking beauty here. But in most cases, we do leave this at no limit. Ages, I mean, we're not even specifying 13 to 17 out of here. I know we used to do this, but we actually like to leave 13 to 17. We have noticed some products can't scale with that audience. So again, challenge all your assumptions. You may think something works, but again, when you split test, you'll really know for a fact if it works or that's just a bias you have. Now with interest, wouldn't recommend it. Like I said earlier, budget's $20. Day parting, I do recommend, because we noticed when we left things to set at midnight and they did spend, it didn't really work very well. TikTok, again, it's still so new and it will spend a lot of your budget from 0 to 6 a.m. and that's not super ideal. So I would recommend doing day parting from 7 typically to about 11. So around here is a good range. Now when you scroll down to conversion, I know sometimes it can be set at value by default. So definitely do conversion, lowest cost, and then upload your different ads. If you have 3 ads, sure, that's fine in the beginning, but I would recommend 5, because TikTok eats creatives for breakfast. It really does. That is what it is fueled on. But when you do scale with the product, you are going to need 10, 20 creatives. Typically, you have to make 3 new creatives every single week if you really want to keep on scaling, because man, that CPM and burn can really kick in after a while. The ad fatigue is crazy. Now, if you're wondering about scaling, I do recommend just duplicating what's already working. So if you have some audiences that are working, just duplicate those bad boys 5 times, do it at a higher budget. So if you're starting at $20 a day, try 5 new duplicates at $40 a day. Cut what's not working, keep what is working. Because at the end of the day, the name of the game is keeping it simple. You should just be putting more money where you're seeing a good return. So that's what I recommend doing. Duplication first. You can do 5 duplicates, you can do 10 duplicates, you can do 20, 50, you can try different budgets. Really, just try to spend as much as possible in those winning audiences. And CBO is another great method where you can do a CBO at $100 a day to start, and you have 4 different ad groups that are your winning audience, and then just with the winning creative. And if it works very well, awesome. Duplicate that, try it at 200 and then 400 and then 800. Just keep doubling once you see that it's continually working. That is really just the name of the game. Keep it simple, spend where it's working. Now, when it comes to different profit margins, I would recommend with TikTok, the profit margin I see that really helps you scale is is at least $20. And with Facebook, I would say it's closer to 30. Facebook, typically the CPAs are a little bit higher, but you can scale much further. So I would also keep that in mind. If you're noticing your AOV is a little bit low and you're not matching those, then you need to be trying upsells. This is what the pros are using. And personally, I would recommend Zipify and having some sort of upsell offer after someone purchases. So typically, if I have a winning product, I like to do a upsell of 20% off that product after someone has bought, because usually they would be interested in buying a second one. You're just not offering to them an appealing offer for them to buy two. And then if they don't take that offer, I usually will downsell something like 30% off the original product, or doing a complimentary product. So if I'm selling a beauty, let's say eyebrow shaper, I might do a mascara, or I might do a razor. You never know what's going to work the best until you split test. So you should do a ton of these different upsells and cross sells to see what is converting the best. And with Zipify, it will show you your exact metrics on all of your offers. The only thing with Zipify is it can be a little expensive, but as an entrepreneur, you need to be good at justifying costs, because if you do have a good offer already going on, the $90 a month or $67 a month, I mean, that's 2 or 3 sales. So they should be something that is a necessary investment. You can also do upsells after someone adds to cart and split test if that is worth it, or if that is impacting your conversion rate with Zipify. So I'd recommend doing upsells all the time if you're noticing your AOV is just not where it's at. And then the final thing I'd recommend, if you are using Facebook ads and sometimes even TikTok ads, I would recommend having a third-party UTM tracking app like Hyros or Triple Whale. I mean, there's a ton of these out there. They are a bit expensive. They can start at $300 a month. So I would only recommend investing once you have something that's scaling. But if you want to know what the pros are doing to create that edge and really see what is the most profitable audience, because again, attribution is huge. TikTok doesn't track every purchase. Facebook doesn't track every single purchase. So using a tool like this, like Hyros, can be very, very effective for making these smart decisions when scaling your ad account. Now, I'd say the next thing you need to be able to do if you want to be successful with dropshipping is handle adversity. Because I see so many people that curl up in a little ball and they cry to their mama saying, "Why is my store not profitable? I did all the instructions right. I followed the YouTube videos. It's just not fair." And man, isn't that great? Entrepreneurship, it's not as glamorous as you may think. It has so many problems. There's so much stress. And man, I don't blame a lot of people for wanting jobs. It just makes so much sense, because man, you deal with so much less headaches. But if you are interested in dropshipping and you are cool with dealing with those adversities, I would say the main things you're going to deal with when it comes to ad platforms like TikTok is the spending issues. Now, I have a whole video dedicated to how to handle that. I don't know if it's on the left or right. I don't know anything anymore. I'm frankly just too drunk to understand anything. But when it comes to the recent issues that we've had, the biggest solution that we've used is typically, because we test with 5 audiences, we'll do something like having 7 audiences in our testing campaigns. So 5 that are set for purchases, and then 2 of them that one of them is for add to carts and 1 is for view content. And usually by having these other audiences, everything starts to spend. But if you have set a campaign, and let's say you have the 5 audiences, it hasn't spent after 1 day, actually the first thing that we recommend doing is letting it just spend for another day. Just give it some time, because TikTok, it does take some time to optimize, and sometimes it won't spend the first day, and then the second day it spends your budget completely. I know it's super ADD. It's like a bipolar girlfriend where she doesn't know where she wants to eat. She doesn't know if she likes you or not. It's really, really annoying, but you sometimes just have to deal with it. It is pay to play. These are the best platforms out there, and you just have to learn how to deal with them. So I would say if you have a campaign that hasn't spent after the first day, just give it another day, and if that doesn't work, turn it off, recreate your campaign with the same 5 ad groups, and throw in those 2 different ad groups in there, so you have a total of 7 that have the view content and add to cart. That typically works the best. Now, on Facebook, the major issue you're going to deal with is suspensions. Those are just inevitable. You're not doing numbers unless you're getting suspended on Facebook. That is the motto. So I would recommend, if you are advertising on Facebook, you need to have a good account structure. You need to have multiple Facebook profiles that are available to you. You need to have ad accounts at all the different ones that have the pixel data shared between them. You can share assets like pixel data, like ad accounts between different Facebook profiles to minimize your risk, because one of them is going to get suspended at the end of the day, and you're going to need to transfer that data over and start running campaigns everywhere. So if you have a good structure and a good foundation, that will minimize the chances of being suspended and not being able to do something about it. But I would also recommend joining some high-level Discords, because there are people out there that you can pay $500, $1,000 to get your Facebook profile unbanned. And it does work. So again, it is sort of pay to play, and you got to be able to navigate these issues. Now let's talk about ads, because by far this is the most important part of your funnel, because if everyone is selling the same product, the only way you can really differentiate is through your marketing. And that's a video I've already explained. If you want to watch how to become a better marketer, check that out. But if you want to learn that ad sauce, then come close, because even though I am your competitor, and if you sell the same product as me, it is my job to try to destroy you in every single way and make ad creatives that will blow you out of the ocean so that my clients get the best results. But if you want to have a few tips to what you should consider with your ads, I would recommend always making short, to the point ads that are under 30 seconds that have good music. You need to have music that's trending right now. Don't worry about copyright. You can use websites like Talkboard, or just go inside the TikTok app, look at what's hot, use that music, because music, man, you have to disguise your ad as a TikTok, and music is one of those key ways of Trojan horsing it. Whoa, wardrobe change. It's actually the next morning, and I gotta go to the gym right after filming this to decapitate my legs, just slice their throat before they know what's gonna happen to them. But the next way you can really Trojan horse your ad is through UGC clips. I 100% preach this. If you want to have success with TikTok for the long term and really scale, you need to have custom content. Now, if you're testing dropshipping products on TikTok, yes, you can definitely use the clips that are already out there on TikTok. Just look up your product, see what's out there, download the clips, and try to splice and stitch them together like some sort of Frankenstein ad. But you obviously need to have a good script for those different clips. So if you just mix and match clips together without having a framework or a plan, it's not going to look the best for you, buddy. So I would recommend having frameworks, and this really happens when you study the best ads out there. You go to PP ads, you look up similar products, or you just see what winning ads are doing for dropshipping products, and you'll notice a very, very big trend. Now, this is one of my favorite frameworks for problem solving products. As you can see right here, a TikTok hook, 3 benefits, call to action. And you can do that all in under 20 seconds. Each one of these can be an individual clip. So for the benefits, since there's 3 of them, I would recommend having 3 clips, 1 for each benefit. So for the TikTok hook, you could do,
TikTok made me buy this pheromone perfume. Now I'm getting all the ladies. They just can't get enough of me.
and then maybe the final benefit could be,
Even my mother is kissing me more than usual.
and then the call to action could be, so if you want to get some absolute badussy, then you need to try this out. So that's a great framework. Now for non-problem solving products, I would say, like if I'm selling a necklace or anything like that, or sunglasses, I would recommend doing a freestyle. And that's typically just 3 to 5 video clips. This can be from different UGC and custom content influencers. So you just stitch their different reactions to your product together into one ad. It can also just be no talking at all. And I've really seen, if you are trying to sell necklaces or clothing, you don't really need a ton of talking. You just need to show the clips of how the product looks in different angles and how it looks great and how you can style it in different ways. That's really what's most important, that you make the product look cool. And then I would recommend having a call to action at the end. Now, for most problem solving and non-problem solving ads, I do like to have some sort of narrator, whether that's the actual person filming the video, whether that's a text-to-speech narrator, because again, it's all about trying to seem native. And that is a very native thing to do, to have some sort of audio. You don't see a lot of trending TikToks with no audio whatsoever. So I'll actually show you some custom content that we recently made for a sunglass brand. Now, I'm not saying this is perfect by any means. In fact, this is an influencer we're trialing out, and they definitely need a lot of work, but this is one of the hooks and angles we went for this sunglass brand. We did my top shopping find I cannot live without. This is a TikTok hook. We got our guy wearing these glasses. He's looking nice. He's doing the hook, showing off some clips of him. Now, personally, from my critiques of him, I would say this clip's not great because he's got the sun behind him. I mean, this is textbook camera 101. The key light needs to hit your face. It can't just be behind you blasting into your camera. It's just not looking good. But with the rest of the clips, I thought the lighting made sense. He's talking about the different benefits. And I will admit his tonality was pretty good in this, and he was using the right music. I can't play it right now, unfortunately. Otherwise, YouTube will take all of my money, and I need as much money as I can get. You need 18,000 different sources of income if you want to be a millionaire nowadays with the crypto market going down. So now, he has a call to action at the end, 40% off today, only shop now. So that's pretty solid. So he goes over the benefits, has a good hook, has the call to action. So that's one of the different templates that we use. But again, I would recommend having at least 3 to 5 unique ad templates. You should not have one ad template be very similar to another, because then you're not split testing much there. So I would have completely different ideas. So maybe one of your frameworks is, the TikTok hook, 3 benefits, call to action. And then maybe another one is doing a generic hook. So that could be the main benefit of your product. And then maybe you'll only do 2 benefits, a social proof clip call to action. You just need to mix it up a bit, use different clips, use different music, and see what TikTok likes the most. So here's another ad. Unfortunately, again, can't play it. He was using some good music that is copyrighted and YouTube actually doesn't like it, but we got good clips of him showing off the product. He's looking nice, looking a little schmixy. I mean, I'd smash. And he's got the little case at the end. And at the end, he is saying like call to action. If you're interested in buying these shades, go check out this brand, etc., etc. So it's pretty good. I would say 80% of the way there. I think the way that he had the clips was all right. I think he could have had it in different settings still, because he just had it in his pool area. I think you can go to a beach, you can go to a restaurant, you can go to a lot of different places to show off sunglasses. So that's probably my only critique really, besides a little bit of the voiceover stuff. But overall, that should give you a good idea as to what you should do with your ads. They should all be different. They should all have different hooks, all different clips, different marketing angles, so you can see what's working the best when you are testing. And when you do identify what's working the best, if that's ad 3 or ad 5, then you know, okay, let me stick with this framework and just play around with the clips, because we know that's the best way to sell the product. So the next thing I would recommend doing after you do all that kind of stuff is always having that solid hook and showing your product immediately, because there is a fine line of, if you just wait too long to show the product, people won't care and they're just going to click off because they're like, what is this video even all about? So I would recommend always showing off your product in the first couple of seconds. That is something we really emphasize a lot with our content team. As you can see right here, oh god, this guy has no idea how to do lighting. But he is showing off the product immediately, and we're giving him good hook ideas. So for this specific brand, we gave him a ton of different hook ideas. In fact, I'll actually show you real quick. I don't really mind to flex my copywriting skills. So we did, yes, my top shopping find I cannot live without, the lazy way to look like a Hollywood A-list celeb, add a bold retro touch to any look. These are all good hooks, and some of them are TikTok related, some of them are not.
Now you're probably thinking, Ethan, there's no way I can afford that many ads and to trial all these different influencers. I mean, where do you even find these people?
Well, that's a bit of a secret. I can't give you all of the agency sauce, but you can find different influencers everywhere if you look hard enough. I mean, you can go to the TikTok creator marketplace. There is literally a whole marketplace dedicated to influencers that you can reach out to that know how to make TikTok ads and videos and all this stuff. So you can hop onto here, you can see what you are specifically looking for. Some of them charge a fee, some of them really don't. I think you just send them the product, and then usually you have to give them a couple extra dollars, you know, here and there, and you just throw it their way. So we're right now in the TikTok creator marketplace, and the first person we see is that kid from Stranger Things. I'm 99% sure that is the 1930s kid that ends up being the bad guy in season 4. But let's go into the other things we got here. If we go to the United States, let's see what we got, because we bleed red, white, and blue here. That's the best place for views. Now, I believe you could also specify, if we go to more filters, so engagement rates, average views. I don't think that really matters to me too much. I would say 10 to 100K. You want the smaller influencers because they'll work for less. And that's a nice little hack for you. Audience age, all this stuff really doesn't matter. It's about how good they are at making quality content. So I would just do apply right here. See what we got for different prices, negotiated price. So there's a bunch of different people that we can look at. I mean, they have literally 663,000. Oh my god, that is absolutely ridiculous. So play around with that, and if you reach out to a ton of different influencers, you're gonna find 1, 2, 3, maybe even 10 that will get your product and make content with it for free. So you just need to be persistent. Now, I would say the next thing that you're doing if you really want to compete in 2022 with other dropshippers is you need to be efficient. And the only way you can be efficient when testing a product is you need to have a way or a template for creating everything from your ads, which we already talked about, then your descriptions and your website. Those are really the 3 core things you would need. So I would say when it comes to descriptions, we do have a framework that I like the most, and this is it for a problem solving product. I can't show you the non-problem solving framework because, again, I mean, what am I just going to give you my entire agency and all the sauce that makes us operate? I mean, I can't really do that. But we got the main benefit of product, 1 sentence about the problem. We love whenever we're talking about problem solving product to obviously talk about the problem. I mean, this is basic marketing. So you talk about the problem, aggravate it, you make it seem like it's the biggest problem in the world so that people are like, dang, I should solve that problem. That is really annoying to deal with that every single day. I need to change my life. Then we got the next main benefit, 3 to 4 sentences with different benefits as well. So after you've already talked about the problem, we just get straight into benefit. Lots of different benefits. Then you do a call to action. You give multiple call to action so they know that they should buy this if they are trying to solve the problem. And when you really look at it, this should take you maybe 30 to 45 minutes to get enough information for this. If you really do the right research, you go into Amazon, you read reviews, you go into competitor stores, you watch videos of your product, you'll get all the information you need to write 12 sentences. If you can't do that, then I feel bad for you, my friend, but you're going to have 99 problems and a winning product will not be one. After this, when you come up with your descriptions and you got a good little framework going on for both problem solving and non-problem solving, you're going to need to know what should your website have, because your website needs to be spotless. And this is something that I'm realizing every single day. If there's one issue wrong with it, that can kill your whole store's conversion rate. If your shipping's not set up properly, if you're not creating enough urgency, if you don't have the right offer. So you need to have templates and guidelines for all of those things. Now, the first step in organizing your website template is understanding what apps are very vital for you, because at the end of the day, the more apps that you're adding, and if you're just adding 30, 40 different apps and you just don't care because, oh my God, the App Store is recommending this app, I gotta use it. You got to realize that's adding more code to your theme. And the more code that's on your theme means the slower your website's going to be, because that code slows it down the more there is on it. So I would recommend limiting your app usage to maybe 15 apps or less, because personally, you don't need a whole lot of apps. So for me, this is my usual Rolodex. I got best currency converter if I am advertising internationally, but most of the time we don't actually use it anymore because we are only marketing to the United States. So if you're not doing international, then don't have that app. Now, CJ Dropshipping, Dezzers, all that stuff, that's obviously for fulfillment, so that's not really adding any code. Crush.pix for image optimization. So yes, for site speed, you should have something like Crush.pix that does optimize your images, that basically compresses them. It makes them smaller, but it does not compress that juicy quality of them. Now, Discount Duck, I don't even really like too much anymore. I would say you can just totally ignore that. Help Center, again, it's not 100% necessary. Klaviyo, yes, I would recommend that for email marketing. So if you do have someone that abandons cart, that you are giving them some emails, usually 3 emails is what I like to do, having some sort of sequence set up that follows up with them so you can get those abandoned cart checkouts to convert. Then I would recommend SMS Bump as well. So SMS Bump, same thing. You can do 1 text message every 48 hours to America, I know. So I usually do a text message after 5 minutes reminding people of their cart and also giving them a 10% discount code. And that's the same thing I also do with my emails. I am giving codes to incentivize the purchase. Next things we got, Pagefly. Personally, we are switching from Pagefly to Gem Pages because I've realized, yeah, Pagefly is not the best page builder. I do believe Gem Pages is faster and it is more customizable. So if you do want a tutorial, let me know. And then the other thing, I do like LAI product reviews more than Luke's. So personally, I would recommend doing that because you can import reviews straight from Amazon and just edit them. And with Luke's, you can't edit a review after publishing. So it's definitely limited. And I know it's the name brand review app. LAI is better. It is just 100 times better. And I'm so glad they actually sponsored me in a video. Otherwise, I would have never known about them. Now, other things I would recommend, I would say you should have some sort of sticky add to cart app. You should have some upsells. So we did already talk about Zipify, and that's really when you're scaling because it is a bigger expense. But you can also use something like Candy Rack for upsells after someone adds to cart and after someone purchases. So that is a cheaper version. Then I would also recommend, yes, the sticky add to cart app. I know there's a ton of them out there. I've been using Sticky Add to Cart Booster Pro for a while because it's the cleanest to me. But again, that's something you might have to play with on a dummy store. And then when you find an app you like, then you can push it onto your main store. Now, when it comes to product page design, you should have a framework. And now personally, this is one of the stores that we are testing this cool bracelet on. We have the same framework we've been using for a while, and we are starting to change it to make it a little bit better. In fact, it's going to be so much better. It's going to be blowing all of your minds. And if you try to compete with me on a product, then good luck, buddy, because you're going to be screwed. But this is what we've been using for a while. We've been using Pagefly, as you can see right here. We got the main headline. We always like to use a GIF if possible. And then, yes, talk about the problem. Tired of shaky hands ruining your eyeliner? If you can't stand the frustration of messing up, you're going to love this. Boom, boom, boom. Then we talk about benefits, 100% call to action at the end. So the offer for this is buy one, get one 40% off. Then we're going to go straight into reviews. And reviews are so freaking vital. You should be really pushing yourself with reviews to get at least 9 to 10 custom ones done that are detailed, that are talking about your product name. You should have your product name in here. So Cat City is my go-to eyeliner. You should talk about fast shipping, and you should make sure that the benefits sound realistic, that these do sound like people, because I see that a lot of reviews nowadays sound very robotic. They sound just not real whatsoever. And if you read my reviews, I personally preach trying to make them sound like an actual human wrote them. So, and here, you guys, instead of saying you, I mean, not proper punctuation, it's slang. And that's how a lot of people do type. It's waterproof. Wow, all these Canadian reviews. Maybe we should get some Americans in here. So with this review, it's not my favorite eyeliner I've used, but for the price, it's great. And I like the tip. Not smudge proof, but applies nicely. That sounds real. It sounds legitimate because most people are not going to just keep on praising and just repeating the benefits. They usually are going to have objections. And I put objections in my testimonials all the time. I do say this product was great for this, but then when it came to this, it was lacking a little bit because it sounds real and most people want to see what are the cons. There is no perfect product out there. So try to be realistic with your reviews, but obviously you want to have a mix of 4 and 5 star. I usually don't like to do any 3 stars, but yes, this is a template we've been using for a while. It works the best for us. And I know for a lot of other people, when they're building websites, this is what I see. I mean, this is, I don't even know what this is. This is some sort of bear product. I like the little photos here. The height looks pretty nice. So the variant part of it, I think looks pretty good. The price is very, very small. I can see a lot of people missing that. The product title is also unnecessarily small. Logo kind of sucks. The header say 50% off for a limited time only. I mean, this is not even 50% off. This is maybe 30. I mean, again, there's a lot of things wrong here. And personally, when I see just descriptions like this is so half-assed. I mean, let's be real. Since
Stores in the USA have discounted this big brown bear.
I mean, there's no benefits about this actual product. There's just a ton of reviews, and I do like that they put a ton of reviews with actual photos because that's super, super nice. And some of these reviews are actually detailed, so they actually killed it there. But the actual description, man, there is no framework. There is no urgency. There is no call to action. There is no reason why to buy today. Why would I spend $100 on this bear? I mean, I'm just going to wait for a discount code or something. I mean, there's really, I can't see the conversion rate in this store being that great. There's also other stores. I mean, I've seen this sunglass brand, and for sunglasses, I mean, you can keep descriptions pretty short, but the way they have this formatted, I would also say is a bit of a mess. Like, you can tell this is a dropshipping store as soon as you look at the Luke's app. And I would say for non-problem solving products, it's nice to have an accordion feature. So accordion works the best for sunglass brands, and you'll see it all the time. Like if we go to something like Blender's Eyewear, and I absolutely love this website. I've analyzed it, deep dived. I've taken some inspiration from it when I was analyzing and building my new website template. They have a great mobile layout. It looks so freaking good. So let's inspect right now. I want to show you what I see. They have almost no empty space. As you can see from the menu to the photos, literally zero empty space. They got a little space here from the product title down, but everything that is important is above the fold. You don't need to scroll down to see the add to cart, the price, the name, all the photos, all the different colors. I mean, that is so freaking optimized. It's insane. And you can click down to the reviews. It automatically links down to the reviews, which is great. They got the description details, the actual description itself, the fit guide, shipping and returns. Now for fit guide, they usually have a photo here. I think it's just glitching out, but man, this is a super duper optimized website. And for the love of God, make sure you have free shipping, because some of you are like kamikaze pilots, torpedoing your dropshipping business down to the grave and letting your competitors thrive because you just don't realize how to do proper shipping. Now, when it comes to the checkout, let's go here because a lot of you need a lesson in this. SMS or email, turn this on. Just follow the exact settings. Have tipping on. There's no reason not to. It's free money. Scrolling to the rest of this, email marketing, SMS marketing, have this on. Set abandoned checkouts automatically. I would not have that if you have an email marketing app already installed, which for most of our stores, we do that. Now, when it comes to shipping and delivery, you should have the different zones, obviously. So if you're marketing to the United States, make sure you have this set up. And this is what I personally like to do. Free shipping, priority insured shipping, 3-month warranty, plus priority insured shipping. And now with the prices, I typically make this 10% of the product price and this 20% of the product price. So you can model what I'm doing right here. It is super duper simple to do. And the other things, and I know these are basics, but so many people just don't understand how to build websites. You should have all the different pages, like a cancel order policy, privacy policy, track your order, shipping times, refund, all these different things here. Then your menus should look nice and organized. So home, buy the main product, contact us, track your order, search, all these different things need to be there, especially your policies. Otherwise you can't run ads on TikTok. And I would say the final thing you should be doing when you're scaling or testing a lot of products is split testing your offer. And this is something that I really do get the luxury of doing when you do have an agency and you'll test products among different clients. We can test all types of offers, from buy one, get one free on one client store. We can do buy one, get one 40% off. We can try different price points. So for this eyelashes, it's very hard to get the exact price point as to what's going to convert the best. So we're going to naturally start out at a pretty decent margin, maybe do a bundle offer. So we're doing $16.99 initially, but we may lower the price to $14.99 and $12.99 or $19.99. You never know what's going to be the best price point and offer until you do split testing. And there's different apps out there like Neat A/B testing, where you can do a 24-hour split split test where they send your traffic on a page that's at $16.99 and then a page at $19.99, and it lets you know which one converted the best. So make sure you're definitely split testing the price and offer structure, because you never know what's going to work the best. And I see so many people scale with a buy one get two free offer, and you just never know because you're just doing the most vanilla basic 50% off to buy one offer. And I would say the final thing you need to compete with the big boys is creating a team. You need an A team if you're going to succeed and compete with people like me, because I have people that research my products. I have people that write my descriptions. I got people that create my websites, my ads. Every single thing that's in the funnel is sourced out. And if you are going to scale and test products efficiently, you have to have a team. Like right here, this is my website developer. I have no idea how to code themes that look this nice, and this is going to be our new theme at the agency. If you're interested, click the link in the bio. I mean, book a call because you're going to get the best service possible. And look at this. I mean, it's beautiful. We got photo variants. We got a buy now button that's can't miss. We got dynamic checkout. You save that automatically updates. I mean, everything here looks great. I can't show you the rest, but man, this is what really separates you from the rest of dropshippers. And there's plenty of other roles in your team you're going to need, like a customer service rep, because you can't be doing that work. It is just not time ROI positive. So after you have that all sorted out, the final thing you're going to need to compete, and this will really help you with your margins, is having a great supplier. And it's hard to find the right supplying agent. I mean, there's different ways of doing sourcing agents. You can ask your friends if they have one available. There's different services where you download their app, they automatically just go to your store, they fulfill your orders and send you an invoice, which I personally like. There's CJ Dropshipping. I mean, there's a lot of different options, and you got to be looking at all the different ones, because for every product, it's going to be different. So you got to do your research. And if you can find the right supplier once you start to scale, it's going to make your life so much easier.